welcome to Incredible Journeys, Brands and Leaders, a special series that puts the spotlight on some of India's most popular brands and brings you face-to-face with the leaders who are building them. On the show today, we are exploring the inspiring success story of Prism Johnson in Mumbai. It's an integrated building materials company that makes cement, ready-made concrete mixes, tiles, as well as bathroom fittings. Take a look. In the 1990s, Mumbai-based real estate developer, the Rajan Raheja Group, decided to diversify into making building materials. By acquiring H&R Johnson India that manufactured global brand Johnson Tiles, to setting up one of the largest single kiln cement plants in the country at Satna in Madhya Pradesh, to adding ready-mixed concrete to its offerings, Prism Johnson has gradually evolved into one of India's largest integrated building materials companies. Today it has three verticals: Prism Cement, H&R Johnson India for tiles and bathware, and RMC India for ready-mixed concrete. Prism Johnson presently has 2 state-of-the-art cement manufacturing plants, 13 tile manufacturing plants, and over 100 RMC plants across India. And now to tell us more about Prism Johnson, we are joined by the company's Managing Director, Vijay Aggarwal. Vijay, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you on Incredible Journeys with us. Now, you've been with the Rajan Raheja Group since the early 1990s. Back then it was a real estate developer. Today it's a very diversified industrial house. At this point in time, what are the verticals that Prism Johnson has?
Well, we are essentially a building materials company.
Right.
So we have cement, we have ready-mix concrete and aggregates, then we have tiles. In the tile vertical, we have a lot of other products. We have bathroom fittings, sanitary ware, we have a joint venture for construction chemicals,
Right.
we have engineered marble and quartz. So, our vision and our idea is that we want to be improving lifestyle of our customers through providing innovative products and services.
Right.
So in our journey, every 5 years we have been adding to our ranges in that sense.
In the Indian market, how have your verticals fared over the last couple of years? Which one is the biggest one in terms of revenue, and going forward, how do you see this panning out?
In terms of revenue, cement is the larger as of now. That contributes about 45%.
Right.
Tiles and bath vertical, which is Johnson, that contributes about 30%. And RMC, which is concrete, about 25%.
Okay. And the tile and the bathroom fittings market is pretty cluttered. There are a lot of unorganized players as well. There are a lot of branded companies. There are a lot of multinationals coming in as well. So how tough is the competition there, and what is the USP that really sets you apart?
See, competition is always welcome. And just to correct, there are not many MNCs in this industry, in tiles. Tiles has always been very much like a local business across the world.
Right.
So Johnson, I think, is the only exception, where across the history, Johnson in fact started in the UK in 1901, more than 100 years ago. And I think as early as in the 1950s, Johnson was already present in South Africa, Australia, USA, Malaysia,
Right.
India, among many other countries. So we have always been very focused on our consumer, what are the unmet needs. We keep innovating, we keep doing continuous research, and people, because ultimately people are dealing with consumers. So if you ask me, the 2 USPs apart from our brand is our focus on consumer and our focus on our own people.
In a segment like cement or concrete mixes, all the big players are present there. There is tough competition there. Again, that's an area where quality would be a USP for every brand. Everyone is looking at quality as far as construction is concerned. So how do you differentiate on that front? What sets you apart, and what's your share in the overall market?
Like in cement, if you see, we are in central India. Our plants are located in Satna. We have 2 plants with a capacity of 7 million tons. And in our zone, our relevant zone, we are number 2. We are the second largest. And in cement, when we say quality, there are very different products, and one parameter, of course, is which is measured is the one-day strength.
Right.
So on that parameter, we are one of the best in our zone. So our theme is Dur Ki Soch. So in our area, we have a lot of customers who make one room today, second room after 2 years, and then of course their joint families after 20 years.
Yeah.
So we tell our consumers, look, today when you are doing your house, you can put anything for your flooring, for plastering, including our normal cement, which is Champion. But when you talk of foundation, you talk of the columns, you talk of slabs, don't compromise, go for the best, which is our Champion Plus and Duratec. So 20 years later, when your children get married and you're building another story, then you don't have to think, you just build it. We started this around 3.5-4 years back. So from zero our new products have become 18% in our total sales. It's been like a great success.
Let's talk a little bit about your manufacturing capabilities. As far as cement is concerned, what's the production capacity that you have and where are your plants located and how are you using technology in these plants?
Well, our plants are located at Satna. It's in part of Madhya Pradesh, close to the UP border. We have 2 production lines over there and the capacity installed is 7 million tons. We are in the process of doing little debottlenecking by which you can stretch it to 7.5 to 8 million, which will do it over the next 2 years.
Right.
In terms of technology, these are very modern plants, and both the plants got technology and machines from FL Schmidt. It's a European company which is world's best company for cement machinery. And our plant, in fact, we are fortunate that we have a lot of benchmarks to our credit in terms of operating parameters on, let's say, power consumption, on water consumption, on CO2 emissions. We are not only one of the best in the country, in many cases we also meet global standards.
USP of this plant is that we haven't had a quality complaint for the last 4 years. In terms of quality, we believe that it is value for money. There is a economic price, there is a premium price, and there is a super premium price. So depending on the application of the customer, whether he wants for normal routine construction, he wants for concreting, or he wants for high performance concreting. So we supply at all levels.
And as far as your ready-made concrete mixes are concerned, how widespread is that plant network? I'm told you have over 100 plants for RMC.
Yes, that's right. So RMC is more of an urban phenomena. So we have more than 100 plants now in 47 cities, all tier 1, tier 2. Apart from that, we are also in many industrial locations like say Dahej or in Odisha interiors where there are many Paradeep. Right. So those kind of locations. And coming to tiles, we have 13 plants in tiles and 2 for bathroom fittings. Right. These are also all over the country.
So as far as your tile manufacturing capabilities are concerned, tell us a little bit about that.
So regarding tiles, we have capacity of 68 million square meters across the country. We have 13 plants, and many of our plants, when we build them, and they continue to be absolutely world class. Like we have a floor tile plant in south of India. We made that in 2003. And even today we can say that's the best floor tile plant not only in India but across the world. Wow. We just have 2 production lines and it produces about 7 to 8 million square meters per annum. Absolutely mega plant for floor tiles and most efficient. Same way, we have the most modernized and versatile plant at a place called Pen, just outside Mumbai. This is the most modern tile plant in the country, where when we started, we installed some machines called laser guided vehicles. Okay. So tiles are not even touched anywhere by any human being. It's totally automated. HR
Johnson is the 7th largest tile company in the world. Apparently it has won several accolades in the past. What really sets you apart and how competitive, how tough is it to really crack that consumer psyche in today's day and age?
I think this is like been the life or DNA for us, so we don't find it that difficult, that tough, to be honest. But having said that, I would repeat our relentless focus on consumer and trying to meet unsatisfied needs. I remember once I was myself standing in an exhibition and we had just about launched our industrial flooring, which was nothing great to look at. That was not the idea, but it was very good functionally. Right. So one elderly couple came and they were looking at that tile and I happened to be interacting with them. And they were showing interest to buy those tiles. And with all my knowledge, I was dissuading them to look, it's not really for you, it's for industrial application. But they said no. 2-3 months back, someone slipped in their home and they broke a bone. So we like to have this, looks doesn't matter. So then I got the idea, along with the team, that look, in a bathroom, if you can do something anti-skid, it's a great theme, an unmet need. The customers are willing to take compromise with aesthetics, but they want that. So then immediately we put together a tile which had anti-skid property, and of course aesthetically it was very nice. So it was like a great success. You are also partnering with a German company for adhesives. Tell us a little more about that. Right. See, traditionally tiles in India have been laid by sand and cement, which is fine, which works. But then there are special applications. If you see a running office, right? You want to renovate your office. Now, if you have to break open your tiles, you have to relay. It's a 2-week affair, and no running office, no running commercial building, hotel can afford that. Right. Even a house, you don't want to go through that. So there are adhesives where you can do tile on tile, and the work can happen literally overnight. So we made a joint venture. We were the first in India to pioneer the concept, and now We already are number 1 and we have grown. We now have 8 plants all over India.
Wonderful.
We make tile fixing adhesives, we make grouts. So we have like more than 50 colors of grouts. It can meet anyone's subjective choice in terms of color. And we have recently entered into waterproofing and other flooring compounds.
Great. And you're also investing a lot into R&D. You have an R&D and innovation center at Raigad. What's the sort of path-breaking work that happens there?
We at Johnson feel very passionate about R&D. And I always personally believe that we have a lot of talent in the country in our academic institutions. There are professors who are great, they have good knowledge. There are students doing PhD or pursuing various technical subjects. We have laboratories also available which are available to government. But unfortunately, like I'm telling you 15 years back, and I think even today, not many corporates actually interact with academic institutions or government laboratories. And over a period of time, we said, okay, we are just putting together some good people. We're giving them equipment, we're giving them laboratory, we're giving them money, and let them loose.
Right.
And of course, we pose them some unmet problems of the country. So first is drinking water. As we know, water is a huge issue. So we need a very safe technology where water can be made available and literally very low cost. So we have worked along with CGCRI in Kolkata. It's a government research institution. And we jointly have developed a product called a ceramic membrane, which can be installed at a very low cost, low capital cost. And
in households?
In households.
In commercial.
Just now it's more for villages, communities, those rural areas where safe drinking water and pipes are not available.
Right.
So in the rural areas, we can install at the community area. In many states, especially Bihar, Bengal, we find governments are very supportive and they want to install now this in a. So we have been able to do that as an example.
How are you leveraging technology across your manufacturing floor in a day and age where India is moving towards more and more towards digital technologies? How are you leveraging these on different aspects of business?
Technology has few dimensions the way we see it. One is of course in terms of recipes and the product conceptualization, where our R&D plays a very beautiful role. Then in the manufacturing process itself, we can talk of automation and data collection. Like today we're talking of Internet of Things. So already in many of our plants we are installing equipments where sensors can be put and they can be tracked remotely, they can take instructions, they can give out a lot of data. So early days, but we are evolving with that. And then of course ERP, which is SAP. We were one of the first companies, I think we installed way back in 2001 and a very successful installation of SAP. So we keep evolving with time.
Okay, on that note, we are going to head into a short break right now, but stay with us as we continue to find out why Prism Johnson is an incredible brand of India. Stay with us on CNBC-TV18. Welcome back to Incredible Journeys, Brands and Leaders. On the show today, we are exploring the journey of Prism Johnson, and I'm in conversation with the company's Managing Director, Vijay Aggarwal. Vijay, now Make in India is an initiative that was launched by the government in its first term. Modi government is back in power again. What is it going to take for India to become a global manufacturing hub? Prism Johnson, the Raheja group, is of course a group that has been contributing to the Make in India initiative for many decades now. But what's on your wish list for this government?
I think we have all the ingredients in terms of raw materials, local market, talent, technology, everything is there. But if I look at for the whole industry, I mean not only our industries but for the whole economy, then two major reforms which need to happen in due course. One is land and second is labor. Because they are very two important ingredients for manufacturing.
Right.
Today, if a industry needs to be set up which requires large amount of land, it's physically impossible to acquire in a time frame or at a reasonable cost.
Right.
So there has to be some kind of a positive win-win proactive land reform. Same with labor, because labor, if you today see unionized labor doesn't contribute even 5% of total country's workforce. So 95% balance is also doing very well. There are examples where PSUs have been privatized and post that the number of employees have become 10 times, they're getting more salaries, better perks. So it's not that privatization will do bad to labor, or if you don't encourage unions it will be bad. But what you need is productivity.
Right, okay. And moving to your sales and distribution network, how widespread is that? How many geographies are you present in today?
Essentially, we can say 99% local. So if you talk of division by division, in cement, we are in central India, MP, UP, Bihar, where we have more than 4,000 direct dealers, 160 warehouses, and more than 8,000 retailers. It's a very wide, very deeply penetrated network in that part of the country. And if you talk of RMC, it's essentially B2B, where we have, I just said, 100 plants, 47 cities, and 95% of sales is B2B with end customers directly. End consumers means builders, developers, government, large projects, etc. Tile is a national business again. Tile, bathroom is all national. We are all over the country. We have more than 1,000 dealers, more than 10,000 retail points.
Right. And as far as bathroom fittings are concerned, how big is that opportunity in India? That was your latest diversification.
We talked a lot of consumers. And when we talk to consumers, I'm talking 10 years back, a consumer, if they had to do a house, we thought about a house. Okay, there is bedroom, there is living room, there is bathroom.
Right.
But when you come to bathroom, you cannot say that I will do flooring today, I'll put my WC later on, I'll put my wash machine later on, fittings. It all has to happen in single shot. So in our journey, therefore we prioritize that let's do bathroom first. And when we spoke to consumers, it came very clearly, they're not buying tiles, they're not buying bathroom fittings, they're buying a nice bathroom. So we said, why not we move from product to complete solution. The first step was to create the building blocks. Tiles we already had, we said let's create building blocks of sanitary ware and fittings, and then of course we'll merge it into a solution.
Looking at kitchen solutions or?
Kitchen, we already made a small beginning. We actually have tied up with a company in Germany called Nobilia, the world's largest OEM manufacturer. So we already have a small tie-up, and in a humble way, we are already into that business.
And as far as your advertising and marketing strategies are concerned, what is the focus on?
I think way back in 2000, we opened 25 display centers all across the country. This was the first time in the industry. In last 18 months, we have started creating what we call new generation experience centers. Right. We don't call them display centers, we call them experience centers. So the whole idea here is there are spaces. Let's say for architects and influencers, we also provide sitting space, conference area. They can bring their customers, they can spend their day there if they wish to, and we have mock-ups where people can actually see the products. We have virtual reality. Right. We are doing digitization of everything. So if the consumer comes, he or she will have a great experience. That's the idea, so which is just now happening. And advertising is important, but I would say experiences to the consumer, display, reach, awareness is very important.
Great, great. All right. And as far as corporate social responsibility is concerned, Prism Johnson, is a company that likes to give back to society. What are some of the flagship initiatives that you've taken that are close to you?
We do a lot in all our respective locations, and we have been doing them again before it became mandatory or by law. Yeah. So, for example, in our tile business, we went to Morbi. I think around 15 years back, we were the first company from the organized sector to go to Morbi and collaborate with local companies. So when we went there, in some ways we were also seen as a big company from Bombay, and Morbi was a small little place. So of course, we had a very successful business over there in due course. But what we did to start with, we opened a small dispensary, and we made it open not only to workers in our factory, to all factories in that area. Everyone could come and go, and it still runs. So these kind of things got us a lot of goodwill. And we created a small center where when workers used to come and work, their children used to be roaming around. There was no way for any education. So we just made few rooms. We employed some teachers, and we could say, okay, while the workers are working, the children can be put there and we can give them some basic education. So these kind of things. In Satna, of course, we have a very large setup in cement. So there we do a lot of activities in a very organized manner. Water harvesting is a big issue. So we educate in the villages around water harvesting. We work on development of roads in the rural areas, schooling, education, girl child. Like Andhra, we have a land for cement plant. We built many toilets in the school for girl children.
Great, great. Okay, so from here on, if you have to lay out one vision for Prism Johnson, what is that going to be, say, in the next 10 years or so?
See, the vision is something we made for ourselves 20 years back. It's not changed, and it is something which will remain with us, the same vision. So it is improving lifestyles of our consumers by providing them innovative products and services. So
and that's going to continue.
It will continue
over the ages.
Yeah. And interestingly, in all our divisions, we have a very nice tagline, which, like in cement, we said we have Dur ki Soch. In tiles, we have got not just tiles, lifestyles. Now these are themes which I think can live for 100 years.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful. It's been lovely talking to you, Vijay.
Thank you.
You so much for joining us on the show. With that, it's a wrap of this episode of Incredible Journeys, Brands and Leaders. Hope you enjoyed those insights into the journey of Prism Johnson from Mumbai. We'll be back next time with yet another incredible tale of success. Until then, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.